We are looking live. This is a last minute decision to go live like this. Give people a few seconds to roll in before we get started with our topic. And the topic is Trump has been only president-elect for 1 week. 1 week. And already the world is changing for the better. See, there's cabinet positions and stuff that I'll get into in a few minutes, but I want to go over the positive things that have changed just in the last couple of days. In the last couple of days, we've had the following. Hey, Zach. Well, I almost did this tomorrow, but I decided at the last minute to go ahead and do it now because there's so much good news coming in about Trump and the ways that he's changing the world as we know it, and it's for the good. Today, believe this or not, Putin called President Trump and said, "I want peace." Now, how much of a shock is that? That Putin called Trump and said, "I want peace." Last Wednesday, Trump called the leader of Hamas and said, "You have until January the 20th to release all the hostages," and hung up. Yesterday, Iran sent a message to Hamas to release the hostages. And Israel his terms are going to be whatever Trump decides, right? Trump's a good negotiator. Yeah. Oh, and Zelensky called Trump and said he wants peace. Yeah, Zelensky called Trump and said, "I want peace." Zelensky is the president of Ukraine. So all of this stuff is coming together. And I think that Elon is going to play a prominent role in the negotiations because the transcript says that Elon was on the phone call with Trump with the discussions with Zelensky. These are all good things, Zach. You know, I have been praying for us not to get in a ground combat war in Ukraine since it started. My attitude with Ukraine has been if they want to go to war with Russia and want to buy the weapons, buy them from us. We're not giving you shit. Anyhow, I digress. I get off on these rants, don't I, Zach? But tonight, after our live with JR, Trump announced Marco Rubio is going to be he's set to announce it tomorrow, that Marco Rubio is going to be the Secretary of State. Yeah. I find myself in good mental health because I don't hold my rants in. I don't hold it back and get home and say, man, I wish I said this. Man, I wish I said that. I just let it out. And then when it's over, it's over. Yeah. No more free money, which I was never in favor of giving them money anyhow. That's not the way war is supposed to work. You're not giving them cash. you know, you're just not supposed to do that. But anyhow, Marco Rubio is to be named Secretary of State. What I read said tomorrow. Then earlier I read that if Marco Rubio goes to Secretary of State, then Ron DeSantis, who's the outgoing governor of Florida, will name himself as senator to replace Rubio, and then will make the Latin lieutenant governor in Florida governor. She's pretty good. I like her. So that would be all good things. Um, Also, Elise Stefanik was named ambassador to the UN. That's a good pick. Um, Mike Davis has said that he does not want to be attorney general, that he wants to be more close to President Trump, which what I'm seeing is maybe he would be White House counsel or something to that effect. But these are all good things, Zach. These are huge, huge good things. And all in just a week's time. Oh, and today, Tom Homan was named border czar and put in control of both north and south border. And if there's deportations to be made, that he's to handle it. And that was a good move. And then my pick for Secretary of State is Tulsi Gabbard. She really cares about veterans. I watched a video today. Biden and Harris were so perfect. Yeah, okay, Zach. I watched a video of Tulsi's today. I really got choked up because she described how she feels about um, Veterans Day. And she got very choked up because she left her best friend. Well, she didn't leave her, but her best friend got killed in action. And she flew the escort helicopter to go and get her body. That's pretty cool. And it shows by her getting emotional when she talks about veterans and talks about uh, Biden and Harris creating wars and then, letting our brothers and sisters in arms go die on battlefields, that it's disgraceful. She actually said, how dare you? How dare you send my brothers and sisters in arms to war just to be cannon fodder? That shows that she really cares. Um, as far as here's a good one. I saw this yesterday on Megyn Kelly. Charlie Kirk has been invited to come and spend this whole week at Mar-a-Lago with Trump to talk about how we can fix the education system, how we can fix colleges, because Charlie Kirk he has spent these last 2 years going to every college in the country and just letting students have their voice. If they want to ask him a question, they can ask him a question. If their views are different than his, they're allowed to state their views, and then he just gently pushes back and asks them uh, a counter question. And first he starts off by saying, well, if you think he's a racist, what action has he taken that shows you that he's a racist? And the girl said something, and Charlie let her speak, and he said, that's what the mainstream media says. That is not the truth. And then he tells them the truth. Charlie Kirk has been able to do in 2 years what I thought could never be done, and that is open the minds of college kids. Not by berating them, not by beating them down, by letting them have their say and then telling them what the truth is, and then letting them just have a conversation with them about it. You know, our college age kids are not hopeless. Yeah, there's major changes that have to be done with the education department. I'll call it that. But it's all things that I think that Charlie Kirk can do because he has a gift for being able to talk to college students. And some of the other things, it's late. I'm tired, but I want to get this done because, yes, okay, what what I think is going to be changed is, and Charlie Kirk has talked about this, he has talked about get the BS out of education. Like if you're a boy, you can be a girl, or if you're a girl, you can be a boy, or letting boys say that they're girls and compete against girls. That all needs to be taken out of the entire education system, and we need to focus on get the DEI bullshit out and focus on reading, writing, and arithmetic. Get back to the basics is right. Teach civics in our high schools again. We don't teach civics anymore. We have this what I call a fucked up version of civics called social studies, but it doesn't teach them about America. It teaches them about the rest of the world and what the rest of the world thinks of America. No, we need to get back to the basics and teach these kids what America actually stands for, why it was founded, what it stood for when it was founded, the truth about slavery. While slavery was a bad thing, that there are bad people on both sides of the aisle, and teach them that the Democrats were the ones who fought against um, black people getting rights. The Democrats fought against that, and they need to just start out by throwing out all these books that just tell them, you know, white man bad, black man good, that kind of crap. and teach them the truth. When I was a kid, we had to in seventh grade or eighth grade rather, we had to take a test on the Constitution. If we did not pass the test on the Constitution, we did not get to graduate. That's not done anymore. They give them this watered down test, but then they don't tie it to if you don't pass, you don't graduate, which they need to go back to that. And I'm not a big fan of Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon, yeah, he has his followers and stuff, but he's pushing for Marjorie Taylor Greene to be Secretary of State. That's a bad move. She's a bomb thrower. You do not need bomb throwers negotiation the negotiating peace deals. And this whole this whole deal with the Senate, Rick Scott should be the next Senate. Students receive 50% on work not completed. Yeah, they should receive a failing grade if the paper was due and wasn't submitted, it should be an F. If it's not submitted, it should be an F. That's what it was when I was in school. If you didn't turn in your paper, that was an automatic F. If you turned it in, it was partially complete, you at least got credit for what you did complete. You wouldn't get an A or a B, but you might get a C or you might get a D. But the important thing, but their feelings could be hurt. I hear this all the time. Their feelings could be hurt. Well, they need to grow the fuck up because their feelings being hurt won't get them ahead in life. That's why we have a bunch of sissies growing up nowadays because everybody's afraid, oh, we'll hurt your feelings. We'll hurt your feelings. No, tell them the truth. The truth can be good, but the truth can hurt. The truth can be good because they can learn and get past their hurt feelings. This is all about, you know, yeah, idiots with PhDs that were plagiarized. Yep. There's another rumor going around that Biden is going to push Sotomayor into stepping down from the Supreme Court and put Harris on the Supreme Court. That won't work. That would be political suicide or political murder or whatever you want to call it, because she would not be able to endure the dozens and dozens of questions. See, these Supreme Court justices, they have to sit at a hearing for 3 or 4 days, 8 to 10 hours a day, and answer every question that the senator has to ask. And they asked some really off the wall questions. She couldn't sit for 10 minutes in an interview to become president without giving a bunch of stupid word salad. Because Nancy is a representative from California. And you can't, we on our side can't pressure her to resign. It would have to be a Democrat, which I heard that there's movement afoot to tell all of these people like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to retire. Name what they want and they'll retire. There would be joy in the Supreme Court. Yeah. Okay. Joy in the Supreme Court. She would get asked why she put truant parents in jail instead of finding out why the child wasn't in school. She would get asked that. She would get asked about her husband being a spouse abuser, about why she sent 1,600 black men to jail for simple marijuana possession. Yeah, all of that stuff would come out, and that would be the end of her political career. And yeah, it doesn't work that way. Because when they're at the hearing for nomination, the other Supreme Court justices are not allowed to come. They're not allowed to show any favoritism or anything. They work their standard caseload. Usher, once the stuff comes out between Usher and Diddy, Usher's done. I mean, I think he's talented, but he got mixed up with the wrong people. Wrong people. This is just, I'm going to move this for a second. This is such a good thing, Zach. I never thought in the last 3 years that the war conflict has been going on with Russia and Ukraine that Putin would ever say, I want peace. Can't imagine Putin would ever say, I want peace. I never thought that would happen in a million friggin' years, because he's the ultimate warmonger. He wants the Baltic countries back. He wants that whole, from Ukraine to Poland to the Baltics, he wants that all back under Russia. And now he knows that it's not going to happen. So he's sitting there saying, he called Trump and said, I want peace. He wants peace. Zelensky called Trump and talked with Trump and Elon Musk and said, he wants peace. He wants the war to end. He wants the bloodshed of his people to stop. And that's got to be because he knows that the cash, excuse me, is going to get cut off. No more free cash, which we should have never been giving them cash to start out with. My viewpoint on cash is you should never, ever give cash to any foreign country, because Cash is fungible. Cash is not traceable. You can say, yeah, here's $1 million to go buy bullets, and they could go and buy weed with it. We would never know because you can't trace it. It is not traceable. And, this is just so much good. Yeah, cash disappears is right. And then you can't go back and trace cash. You can't go back and say, okay, where's the receipts for your purchase? Because they could say, what purchase? You gave me cash. It disappeared. Or, whatever. It's just such a good thing that this is all coming about in just 1 week. And then you have people like Nancy Pelosi saying Trump will never be president again. We are going to pass legislation to make sure that it never happens. Well, that won't fly because in order to impeach him, the Democrats have to have control of Congress. They don't have it. As of tonight, it's in Republican hands. They got 218. There's still like 3 or 4 more races outstanding. And they've got 53 votes in the Senate. And I don't know if Carrie Lake is going to push for no ex post facto laws. Right. And see, one of the things that Biden screwed up on, which is good for our side, is that he didn't go to Congress and have them write laws. He did it all by executive order. Well, executive orders are only good for as long as the president is in office. The next president can come into office and write an executive order that erases all them executive orders. That's the bad thing about executive orders. The next president can come in and with a swipe of a pen erase it all. And here's another thing that people don't realize, okay? Business tax rate all across Europe and just about where else in the world is 15%. Kamala wanted to raise the business tax rate here, which is 21 to 28%. And then also tie it into that they had to pay taxes on unrealized corporate gains. And that means that if you buy a stock, let's say you bought Apple for $100 a share, and Apple came out with this great product, and it went from $100 a share to $1,000 a share, but you didn't sell the stock. See, with stocks, you don't pay your capital gains until you sell it. She wanted you to pay taxes on the stock every single time it went up. Think about that for a minute. If you buy a stock at $100 a share and it goes up to 200, say 300, so she wants you to pay taxes on that $200. Then if it goes down to 200 and then back up to 400, then she wants you to pay taxes again. That would be pretty screwed up, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be screwed up to have to pay taxes on stock every time it changed price? And people were telling her, no, that won't work. And she says, oh, my my economists say that that will work better than Trump's plan. Well, it's like, no, it really won't. See, what that would have done is, okay, when you raise taxes on businesses from 21 to 28%, they're going to move out of country to where the tax rate is lower. And what Trump has said is that our tax rate on business should match what it is in Europe. And in Europe, it's 15%. And that if they reinvest in America and build plants in America, they will get extra tax breaks. I think that's fair because car companies like Volkswagen, okay, yeah, unrealized. I don't know why it did that. It did that same thing last night. Weird. Yep. Taxing unrealized gains is crazy. You there, Zach? Yeah. You cannot tax unrealized gains because you haven't gotten the gain yet. If you buy a stock for $100, it might drop to $50 and then go up to 125. Tell me it's you're supposed to pay every time the stock goes up, even if it goes down. That's crazy. And see, Trump said when she announced that, she said, he said, if she's elected, we will face a depression worse than in the 1920s during the Great Depression, because raising the tax rate on businesses, the businesses will leave. And then putting in price controls, the people won't be able to afford nothing now, you know. You know what I mean? It would be beyond craziness. All right, I'm going to get off here before this thing takes a dump again. It's good seeing you, Zach. And maybe we can get some more people on here and have them comment too, because I really enjoy comment sections. All right. So I'll talk to you later on. Bye now.